Chapter 3. The Sin of Usury. Why lending money for profit was once considered a sin. There was a time, not too long ago in the grand sweep of history, when charging interest on a loan wasn't just controversial. It was considered a sin. Not a business strategy. Not a sign of financial intelligence. Not how the system works. A sin, one that could stain your soul and displease God. This was the belief in much of Europe for over 1,000 years. And yet today, the idea sounds absurd to most people. After all, how could a modern economy work without interest? But that's the point. Maybe it shouldn't. 1. What is usury? Usury simply means lending money at interest. Today, the word usually refers to excessive interest. But historically, especially in Christian theology, any interest was seen as usury. Why? Because money was considered barren. It didn't produce anything on its own. It had no natural yield. If you lent someone 10 coins and they gave you back 12, you were profiting without working, and at the borrower's expense. You shall not charge interest to your brother, interest on money or food or anything that is lent out at interest. Deuteronomy 23 verse 19. The act of making money from money was seen as immoral, especially when it preyed on the poor or desperate. 2. Christian teachings on usury. The early church didn't just dislike usury, it condemned it outright. St. Thomas Aquinas called it unjust and unnatural. The Council of Nicaea banned clergy from engaging in it. Pope Alexander III said usurers should be denied Christian burial. In fact, for most of the Middle Ages, Christians were forbidden by canon law from lending money at interest. Doing so was seen as exploitation, not enterprise. The Church's logic was spiritual and social. Lending should be done out of charity, not profit. The poor should be helped, not burdened. Wealth should be shared, not hoarded. These weren't fringe ideas, they were mainstream doctrine. 3. The Jewish role in medieval lending. Here's where things got complicated and dangerous. Because Jews weren't bound by Christian canon law, they could legally lend money with interest. And because they were barred from owning land, entering many trades, or joining guilds, moneylending became one of the few professions available. So Jews became lenders, not out of greed, but because the system pushed them into that role. Over time, Christian kings, nobles, and even the church borrowed from Jewish lenders and resented them for it. When debts piled up, rulers often expelled Jewish communities, seized their assets, and canceled what they owed. This led to centuries of anti-Semitic myths and stereotypes, the image of the greedy Jew, the moneylender, the outsider profiting off the community. Myths that still echo dangerously today. But the truth is more sobering. Jewish moneylending existed because Christian power needed credit, but refused to provide it morally. 4. Why it was considered a sin. At its heart, the Church's ban on usury wasn't just about money. It was about relationships. To charge interest was to profit off another's need, to turn their struggle into your gain. It meant helping the poor, only if they paid you more. Lending a hand, with one hand in their pocket. Turning love of neighbor into a transaction. The Church asked a bold question. What does money do to the soul? And when they saw interest hardening hearts, widening gaps, and reducing mercy to math, they said, enough. 5. What changed? So why did everything shift? A few reasons. As trade expanded, credit became essential. Banks in Venice, Florence, and Amsterdam found clever workarounds. Protestant reformers, especially Calvinists, saw wealth as a sign of God's favor, not moral danger. Eventually, usury bans softened, then vanished. The result? A global system where interest is normal, expected, and even glorified, even if it drives people into debt, shame, or despair. 6. What we lost. By removing the moral lens, we stopped asking the real questions. Should everyone be allowed to charge interest? Should the poor pay more to be poor? Is money serving life, or extracting from it? In the old world, usury was a soul issue. In the new world, it's just business. But maybe it's time to ask again. What kind of world are we building, when mercy costs more than money? Chapter 4. The Jewish Exception.